could just walk us through the wide receiver room as a whole so far this spring?
Yep. So we got a good group. Obviously, losing Michael Cooper is a big loss for us. So we had to have some guys step up, and I think Mark Walker, Jay, and a lot of the other guys have done a good job in his absence. We still have a long way to go, though, but I'm happy where we're at.
We talked to Mark Walker a little bit ago. How's he looking so far this year? He's has the most experience so far returning on this team.
Yep, he's having a really good spring. He has really good chemistry with Ty right now, which is important. As everybody knows, you have to have great chemistry with your quarterback. He's probably playing the best football of his career right now, which is we're going to need him to do for us to be successful.
Some of the young guys, Croy Myers, Sean Peel, and who else?
Peel moved to cornerback. Sean Peel, he moved to corner.
Got it. And then Regis Velez. Just what have you seen out of these young rising sophomores?
Yep. So right now I have 2 starters, and then there's a bunch of guys bunched up. They're going to try to fight for playing time. I think they all do some good things. I think Croy's opened my eyes a little bit here the last few days. He's made some plays, which he's going to have to do. He's a skilled wide receiver for us. He still has a long way to go with some of his blocking assignments. But he's been impressive the last few days in the passing game, I should say.
And lastly for me, before I pass it to Wags, last year Michael Salisbury was known as just a workhorse on and off the field. Who's that guy that, maybe might not see tons of time, but is just a workhorse in the practice field and in the gym?
Yeah, we have a good group this year. So we have a lot of guys that are grinders, that are working hard. So I don't know if it's one individual guy. Obviously, Michael Salisbury was a different breed. We all know what he's going to go on to do for us. But I think I have a lot of guys that are taking on that role that are busting their butt this year.
Thank you.
Yep, sure, Phil.
Wags.
Strauss said it's going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. We're going to grill you. So first question is Mark Walker. How would you like to see him move forward? I mean, I don't want to say he had a disappointing year, but 6 receptions for 45 yards, no touchdowns. I kind of thought there'd be a little more production than that, being as he's such a proven entity and he had a really good sophomore season. What do you want to see out of Mark?
Yeah, we told Mark we wanted to see him be a leader this year. When you're a senior playing Navy football and you're going to be a starter, which we're expecting Mark to be a starter, it all starts with being a leader. And then everything else is going to come. It all starts with how hard you work at practice, so the younger guys see that. And I think Mark understands that he's going to be a senior this year, and he's taken on the leadership role. I'm really happy where he's at right now. He's still got a ways to go, and he knows that. But I couldn't be more happy where Mark's at right now. And on the field, he's done a lot of really good things for us so far this spring.
Well, I was thinking, with Ty getting a year experience under his belt, and we know that Ty can be an effective thrower, that maybe Coach Niemot will call some more passing plays this year. And do you feel like your guys have developed a really good connection with Ty now that he's really established himself as the number 1 guy?
Yeah, I think Mark and Ty so far this spring have developed great chemistry. I think Jay's coming along as well. He's been out a little bit, banged up with the hamstring, so he's missed a couple practices with the hamstring. I think you're seeing, the guys getting to spend a lot of time with Ty, knowing that, hey, he's the starter right now, and it shows out there at practice.
And what about Jay Numbarger? I mean, we obviously saw what he could do on the reverses last year, but do you expect him to have a more prominent role in the passing game?
He has to. For us to be successful, he's going to have to make some plays in the passing game, hopefully a lot of plays in the passing game for us. He's shown to us that he has the ability. Also, he had 10 reverses last year, and a lot of time in those reverses, there was one guy sitting there waiting on him. He was able to make that guy miss. So we need Jay to take the next step for us to be a great football team.
Zach Coleman was a guy that got injured last year. I think he was second on the depth chart at the time that he got injured. He's going to be a senior, and Mark Walker, in our discussion with him just earlier today, mentioned him as being the other senior in the room. What can we expect out of Zach Coleman, and do you feel he'll be a key factor within your room?
Yep. Well, Zach's already a key factor in the room because he's a great leader. He's shown the young guys how they have to work. He's the one that sets up meetings. And and does a lot of things for me. So he's already done a lot for us. Now the next step for Zach is to see if he can get fully healed, get his leg back to 100%. I don't know if he's quite there yet. I think he's close. But we're expecting to be able to play on Saturdays for us. He played very limited reps last year, but we're going to need him this year.
So without going in too deep, did he have to have a surgery?
Last year he had a surgery. He got back. He got it. He got a surgery the fall and spring, but it took him a while to get back. So kind of the whole season last year he was banged up. So we're still trying to get him back to 100%. I think he's close, but to fully get to 100% is the goal.
So he's not participating in spring camp?
Oh no, he's practicing. He's playing. He hasn't missed a practice yet.
Full contact?
Not 100%. Yeah, he's doing everything, but I still don't think he's 100%.
So a guy that looks the part in terms of size is Kamari Williams. Can you talk a little bit about him, and do you think he could be a factor?
Yeah, he probably had his best practice of spring yesterday after watching the tape. And he played again. He was a guy that played spot minutes for us last year, would play here and there, get a few reps a game. So he's going to see an expanded role this year. He's kind of one of those guys, like I mentioned, there's 2 starters right now. Then there's a 4 or 5 guys fighting for the other spot to be the second receiver or the first receiver into the game. And Kamari's one of them. But he had a really, really good day yesterday.
And then can you talk about who you might think will become a key blocker? Because I think, a lot of fans did not realize what a great blocker Michael Cooper was. He had the body size and the mentality to do it, the want to. Who among this group is wants to be a really effective blocker?
Yeah, that's a great question. People don't realize, like you said, Bill, Michael Cooper was an unbelievable football player, and he was probably one of the best blocking wide receivers I've had in my 11 years. So it's going to be a group effort. If you're at the Naval Academy playing wide receiver, you have to block. Everybody knows that. So they're all going to be asked to block. Now, who's going to kind of take on the role and be that guy? I'm not sure. Right now, we got quite a few guys. So we'll see as spring progresses who that guy's going to be. Right now, it's up in the air. There's quite a few.
So guys like Croy Myers and some of these younger fellas, I'm looking at the depth chart here. Regis Velez.
Velez, yeah.
Is it Velez? Okay, thank you, Nick. I appreciate it, Mick. What were you able to see from them while they're on the scout team that would lead you to put them on the depth chart going into spring camp?
Yeah, well, both those guys were able to practice with us last year. So we keep a certain amount of guys up to practice so we don't beat up guys too bad in practice, save their legs a little bit. So fortunately, I had both those guys in my meeting rooms last year during the season. They practiced. Now they just didn't necessarily travel and get in games. So I got a pretty good evaluation of them during the season because I got to see them every single day competing, doing things. So that's what led to where they are on the depth chart. And both those guys are doing some good things so far this spring.
So just out of curiosity, who are some of the faster wide receivers in your position room?
Yeah, so we got those GPSs on the guys that tells us how fast they run that practice and stuff. Mark Walker has hit some fast times. He hasn't hit any of his fastest times this spring. He's probably hit the fastest time out of any wideout. Jay runs pretty good. Croy's hit some pretty good times. Those are probably the 3 fastest that we have in the room right now.
All right, thanks. I'll turn it back over to Phil if he has further questions.
Right. Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, Coach.
Go ahead,
Just
Phil.
one more for you. You see in the NFL a lot of quarterbacks turned wide receivers. Jaden Umbarger is a former quarterback turned receiver. What makes quarterbacks such good receivers?
Obviously, they got to be smart. So in football and any level, you got to be smart to play. There's a lot of things that go on with it. And obviously, they're used to touching the ball. They've had the ball in their hands, so it's natural of catching the ball. Every time you take a snap, which 99% of these kids are all in the gun now, so they're taking snaps. Balls are getting snapped all over the place, so you're working your hand-eye coordination with it. But yeah, we've had some success here in the past too, moving different quarterbacks over the years. We've moved quite a few in that have played for me. But we recruit great athletes as quarterbacks here, so that's why it's an easy transition for those guys to come out and play wide receiver because we're recruiting athletes. A lot of our quarterbacks are great athletes.
Do you have plans to move anyone to wide receiver coming up?
Current quarterbacks on the roster.
Or just players in general?
That's something we got to talk about. We'll get through spring ball, then we'll kind of talk about that. As of today, we don't have plans for anybody else to come into the room, but that always changes, so that could change tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Wags, take us out.
Well, so just talking about quarterbacks who now playing receiver, isn't Luke Morley a converted quarterback?
Yes.
He is. So we also have Luke in the room, converted quarterback. And I've been impressed by Luke. Obviously he's got a long way to go still, but every day he gets a little bit better. So I think he's got a bright future. So we just got to keep bringing him along. Like I actually told him today in meetings, man, we got to keep bringing you along. The quicker, the better. But the great thing is, as I told him today, I said, Luke, I see steps every day. I see you getting a little bit better. See you get a little bit better. Sorry. So I'm happy where Luke's at.
Yeah, I think he was an option quarterback. I think he ran the option in high school, so he might have some knowledge of the system.
Yeah, he does. He's a great man. He works his butt off.
Well, the other guy I didn't ask about is Deshaun Peel. How's he coming along?
We moved him to corner, so unfortunately he's playing corner for us right now.
I'm sorry. Is that what Strauss said earlier?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, my bad. I didn't quite catch that. Okay.
No problem.
So is who if you had to reset the three deep just for our edification purposes, it would probably be Umbarger, Coleman, and Croy at one spot, and then Walker, Kamari, and Regis at the other.
I don't know. I know my two starters right now. I mentioned before, there's a lot of guys going to fight for those spots in the next 6-7 practices. We'll set that. I'm not ready to set that. Kind of like I told them, I got them all in one line across the deal right now. Said you guys got to go fight for this spot right here. These two starters are locked. Not that they're ever locked up, but they're the starters, and then we're going to see who's going to get those next couple spots.
First things first, you're now one of the seniors on the team. Just how's it feel to be one of these older leaders?
Well, I would say like it kind of feels cool being able to watch all the older guys grow, and I've been growing up listening to them, looking at what they do. So I'm trying to just follow their footsteps, kind of just keep the brotherhood going.
Yeah, you and Bijan Nichols are one of two players on the team with 3 letters so far this season. Just having this experience, how'd you want to translate that into your senior season?
Well, the biggest thing is I think the seniors got to rely on, as a class, we got to rely on the younger guys because those guys make a lot of plays when it comes to football season and their time to make plays. So that's kind of the same thing that a lot of people did my freshman year and sophomore year, was just kind of bring those guys along. So that's kind of our role, bring the young guys along.
Wide receiver group as a whole, how are they looking?
We look really good per usual. I feel like we're always the best looking group out there, but I'm a little biased. But yeah, I think we're gonna be good, really good, athletic.
And lastly, before I pass it off to Wags, Umbarger, just what have you seen out of him? How's he been growing as a player?
I think Jay is going to be a dog. Well, he is already a dog, but he's going to be even bigger dog. My boy Jay is nice. A lot of speed, strength. I call him a weight room warrior. He's me and him look together. So yeah, Jay, it's in a big season coming for Jay right now. I see it coming.
Perfect. I'll pass it to Wags.
Go ahead, Wags.
Mark, well, obviously Michael Cooper has been a leader in that room now for many, many years. I mean, he's basically played since he was a plebe. And for the last 2 or 3 years, he was a very prominent, played a prominent role in the wide receiver group. How do you replace a guy like Coop?
Well, I would say like it's really, really hard to replace a guy like Coop. It's beyond the stuff on the field, stuff in the locker room, stuff that you see around in the hall. Like I said, Coop is a big guy on campus. He don't like to admit it, but yeah. So that's kind of the biggest thing we have to do. As well, my job and Zach's job, Zach Coleman, another senior in the room. We got to just get together, kind of fill that void.
What did Coop teach you as far as, how to be a Navy wide receiver?
How to work hard. That's an easy question right there. Coop is probably one of the hardest workers I've ever been around in my life. So he kind of just instilled that into me, young me. I didn't really get it at first, and he kind of taught me what it means to be a silverback in our room. You got to work hard at all times.
And in many respects, he was kind of the go-to guy. I mean, if they really needed to make a play in the passing game, a lot of times they were looking for that big body coming, doing a slant or a little quick out or something. Obviously, you're going to be looked upon, you and Jaden initially, to fill that role. Are you ready?
Yeah, we're all ready. Everybody on the receiving corps is all ready. Even the A-backs, we all got talent. We just got to put it out there on the field.
Who are some of the young wide receivers that are impressing you during spring camp?
Well, I feel like all of our young wideouts bring a different aspect. You got Croy, who's like a young me. I like my guy right there. He's like a route runner, quicker guy. You got Luke Morley, who's a bigger body, strong, untapped, like, unlimited potential. You got Regis Velez, like route runner, he could do it all. Like Regis is a good guy. You got Martell. You still got Cam, like Jay's still a sophomore, so we got a lot of young guys in the room. We just got to keep untapping that potential and keep working hard. We'll get there.
What has been the focus for Coach Yokitis during spring camp? Anything that he seems to be stressing?
Well, our like one of our pillars has always been my freshman year was get 1% better every day. That's the biggest thing we focus on. Like if you're going backwards, that's not good. We got to just keep striving for greatness. Even if you feel like you've gotten there, you're already there. You're not there yet. Just keep pushing.
All right, I'll put it back to Phil.
Mark, just watching tape of yourself in 2021, what'd you like, what you didn't like, what are you trying to improve on?
One of my biggest improvements I need to get better on is blocking on the perimeter and being more physical out there. That's what me and Coach Joe talked about a lot, and he brought it up in our meetings together. So that's one thing I have to do a little better.
And lastly, for me, I want to talk about a former high school teammate of yours, Masai. Just what growth have you seen out of him? It sounds like from the coaching staff, he's had quite the spring so far.
Yeah, Masai is playing. He's been playing really well, as a lot of guys know. That's like one of my best friends, since high school. So it's good to see him kind of get the confidence. I think that's what the biggest thing he was lacking since he got here was the confidence and the trust and everything going on. So now he got the confidence and the swagger. You gotta have a certain kind of swagger playing quarterback here. He got that a little bit now, so hopefully he can make some plays.
Thank you.
Wags. So you were mentioned about Jaden Umbarger, who I started calling Mr. Reverse because he took the reverse almost every time that Navy called it. Have you asked Coach Yokitis or anyone else whether you can take a reverse once in a while?
Nah, it ain't my job. I'll leave that to Jay and all the other guys. That's not me. Everybody has their role. I'm cool with not taking the reverse. I'll block on the other side to make sure he gets a touchdown.
So talk about, I think really what Navy needs out of you is some downfield production. And you've done that before. You've shown the ability, but they're going to need, like I said, there's a lot of numbers going to need to be replaced with Coop leaving. Can you talk about being that guy that can get open downfield, make the catch and get some big yards?
Yeah, I feel like I've always been that guy. We just didn't need it. We had Coop. Coop was like the eraser. He could do it all. So now we all got to step up as a group. It's not just me. It's not just Jay. We all got to make plays. It's not just two people, one person. We got to replace a lot with even not even just Coop, like Marcel even and Cal Long, who was a blocking guy. We got to replace a lot because as you can see, like we all got to do big things this year in order for us to win football games.
So last season, did you have some injuries that bogged you down a little bit?
Maybe some like little knick-knack injuries. I can't really remember. I'm not gonna lie.
Right. Well, but do you feel a little, I don't want to say challenged, but I mean, or because last year Jaden basically took your starting spot. So, I mean, do you feel like you've got something to prove?
I always walk around like that, like I'm that guy with something to prove. It's never, even whatever happens, it don't matter. I'm always out there trying to prove something to myself, and not to myself, to somebody else. Like is what it is. Like we're all like out there a group. Like even when Jay take more reps, or Coop took more reps, or I took more reps, or Marcel took more reps, like it didn't really matter. Like as long as we won the football game, I don't really care who take the reps, to be honest.